This was a huge, a monumental victory for President Trump. The biggest legal win of this administration so far. A total embarrassment for crazy Judge Boasberg, who's been trying to force this president to bring foreign alien terrorists back onto American soil, trying to empty prisons in foreign countries and bring them back to our soil. This is a monumental, colossal victory for the rule of law, for the Constitution, for our founding generation, John Adams, who signed this law into effect in 1798, and for President Trump in fulfilling his mandate and campaign pledge.
A huge victory for the Trump administration and the American people. That, of course, means a colossal defeat for the Democrats. Any win for America is a loss for the lunatic left. The Supreme Court has finally weighed in on these activist judges, and we're going to see precisely what it all means for the Trump administration, perhaps even more importantly, the doom it spells for the Democrat Party. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. It is I, Dr. Steve, your patron professor, here to celebrate with you the dawn of a new American golden age that you made possible on November the 5th. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Before we dive into your gang, if you're a homeowner, you need to listen to this. When's the last time? Seriously, when's the last time you checked on your home title? That's the legal proof you own your house. Well, if you're like me, the answer's never. And the problem is, in today's AI and cyber world, scammers are stealing home titles and your equity is the target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on one document. They use a fake notary stamp. They pay a small fee with your county and boom, that's it. Your home title has officially been transferred out of your name. And then they take out tons of loans using your equity or even sell your property. And you won't know what's happened until you get a collection notice or a foreclosure notice. That's why you need to stop what you're doing right now and find out today if you've already been a victim. Use promo code TurleyTalks at HometitleLock.com to make sure your title is still in your name. You also get a free title history report plus a free 14-day trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title, urgent alerts to any changes, and if fraud should happen, they'll spend up to $1 million to fix it. Go to HometitleLock.com right now. Use promo code TurleyTalks. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code TurleyTalks. Just weeks after a left-wing activist disguised as a journalist demanded that Trump stop deporting illegal alien gang members, even ordering two of the planes carrying hundreds of those gang members to be turned around and returned mid-flight. Yes, that judge has been officially crushed by the Supreme Court. They have overturned all of his rulings. As you all know, Judge James Boasberg, who is a radical Obama-appointed leftist, has been consistently ruling that the Trump administration cannot use what's called the Alien Enemies Act to deport violent Venezuelan gang members who are here illegally. President Trump has been invoking the 1798 law to authorize the deportation of hundreds of gang members associated with the ultra-violent Tren de Aragua, as he calls them, Tren de Aragua, and also MS-13 gang members, both now designated as foreign terrorist organizations by the federal government. And he sent them to the mega prison of El Salvador. And this freaking judge, this ultra-leftist D.C. district judge appointed by Obama, has had the gall to repeatedly order Trump to stop. Again, most infamously, he ordered two planes carrying these thugs to turn around mid-flight and come back to the United States. Obviously, the Trump administration has been telling him to shove it. And the thugs are permanently gone from the country. Needless to say, that did not bode well for this judge. He felt so slighted, he felt so ignored, that he actually warned the Trump administration that he would start holding officials in contempt of court. That's how out of control this nut was. Well, no more. The Supreme Court has officially stepped in, like we've been waiting for them to do, and in a 5-4 decision, they shut this nut down, overturning Boasberg's ruling and allowing President Trump to proceed to deport under the Alien Enemies Law. The one caveat to the decision is that the court is requiring that the Trump administration must grant these gang members time to appeal their deportation. But unfortunately for them, the appeal has to go through a Texas court. That's how the Trump administration arranged it. That's the court that has jurisdiction where the gang members, once arrested, are housed. And of course, Texas law is not going to give them the time of day. And the ruling also slapped down the notion of court shopping, looking for sympathetic judges in deep blue areas to render favorable decisions to the Democrats. So this was an amazing ruling all around, and we knew, again, it was just a matter of time. We knew that the court was going to side with Trump on this. Coney Barrett notwithstanding, we'll talk about her in a moment, but we knew that the court was going to slap down this activist judge for arrogating to himself even more authority than the President of the United States has. So it was just a matter of time. This ruling was in many respects inevitable. The executive branch of the federal government, as the Supreme Court, this Roberts, believe it or not, Supreme Court has long recognized, this executive branch of the federal government, which we vote for directly by virtue of the President of the United States, does indeed have ultimate authority over national security. They ruled this way during Trump's first term. It was almost certainly the case that they were going to rule this way even in Trump's second term. They are and invoking a law, yes, even a 1798 law that remains in the books is fully constitutional. It's not been overturned either by the courts or by Congress. So he can absolutely appeal to us. As Tom Homan liked to say, if you don't like a law from the 18th century, what are you going to do with the Constitution, right? Comes from the same time period. So this, of course, is a huge win for President Trump and again for the American people. All the polling shows that deporting illegal migrant gang members is one of the single most popular issues among voters, bar none. It consistently enjoys supermajority support, and President Trump's refusal to back down on this issue in the face of judicial intimidation only underscores how solidly he's grounded in that supermajority public opinion. By contrast, the Democrats, astonishingly, continue to pick fights that they simply can't win. And they do so because it's the only fights they can pick. They've got to fight. They're the opposition, right? They have to fight. But they're finding themselves on a side of issues that only a fringe minority of rabid leftists support. We call it the 80-20 doom loop. They side with illegal gang members over victims. They side with bureaucrats over taxpayers. They side with the financial class over the working class. They side with CEOs over employees. They side with waste, fraud, and abuse over and against its exposure and cleanup. They side with trans athletes over and against women. They side with China tariffs over the United States. I mean, we could go on and on and on. They're caught in this 80-20 doom loop, and as such, they cannot help but keep picking battles they cannot possibly win. And to make it even worse, they're increasingly picking these battles through the courts, through unelected lifetime appointed judges, because again, that's all they have left. I made the argument over and over again that because the Democrats have been so shut out of power, because they lost the White House, because they lost the Senate, the House, the majority of governorships, state legislatures, all they have left are tyrannical judges. All they have left, the only recourse they have left to express their opposition is tyrannical judges and domestic terrorists, right? Burning Teslas and the like. Those are the only two ways they can express their opposition. They have no leader. They have no issues. They have no viable support. Their voter base is evaporating as they continue to lose in voter registration. Their mouthpieces in the legacy media are more unpopular, more untrustworthy than ever. They're absolutely shot. And now it looks as if the Supreme Court is ready to just crack down on the lone channel of influence they have with these activist courts. Well, I guess that leaves domestic terrorism, but we've been waiting very patiently for the Supreme Court to act to rectify this nonsense, and as of last night, they did. Now, as for Coney Barrett, I know a lot of us are just scratching our heads trying to figure out what on earth is her deal. But Robert Barnes, a good friend to this channel, he's a lawyer, legal expert, and a number of others have long warned that Amy Coney Barrett is basically the Mike Pence of judges, meaning that she is rabidly pro-establishment. She's going to rule in such a way that remains relatively consistent with legal and political establishment norms, just like Mike Pence did back on January 6th. He's not going to challenge the establishment protocol and norms, even in the face of obvious corruption. Now, Barrett did the right thing when it came to Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade was a notoriously horrible decision with very little constitutionally informed reasoning, regardless of your view on abortion. The decision itself, as Sam Alito's masterful summary, executive summary of their decision, summarized and explained, it was a terrible, terrible decision. There is no constitutional justification for it whatsoever. It was the very definition of an activist ruling. So she stepped up to the plate when it came to Roe v. Wade. But since then, admittedly, she and Roberts continue to just exemplify a very consistent frustration when it comes to the constitutional health of the courts. But that said, the court as a whole did come through, and I think this is but the first of many more decisions that will finally put an end to judicial activism once and for all. Hey there, Turley Talker. You know what? I'd love to hear from you. That's why I'm launching the Dr. Steve hotline, where you can call in, leave a question, and maybe even hear your own voice featured on an upcoming episode of the show. Whether it's about the latest political shakeup or cultural trends or how we keep pushing forward in this new conservative age, I want to know what's on your mind. Call me at 717-844-5984. Just leave your question. I'll be checking in every single week to answer as many as I can. Again, that's 717-844-5984. Your chance to be a part of the conversation. One more time, 717-844-5984. Give me a call and let's talk.